YouTube. It is me, Little Bitty One, here for your week 39 update, aka my official 9 months post-op. It's crazy to me that it has been 9 months. So I'm going to jump into the numbers and then I'll just kind of talk about my adventure over the last 9 months. High weight was 270 pounds. Surgery day weight was 265 pounds. Current weight is 219 pounds, which means I'm actually up 0.8 pounds this week. Not upset about it. I'm down a total of 51 pounds in 9 months. My BMI is 37.6. And according to ilostsweat.com, I have lost the equivalent of a twin mattress and box spring. It's pretty serious to just picture that for longer than is acceptable. From where I am now, I was basically walking around with a mattress and box spring from a twin size bed strapped to my back, walking all over the city. That's insane. That's completely insane. I have actually not taken my measurements since May. So I was excited to take them. I took them tonight. I have lost 1 inch on my right arm, only my right arm, 1.5 inches in my bust, 1 inch in my bra band, so around here, 1 inch at my natural waist, 1.25 inches at my hips, which is what I consider my biggest problem area. I hate my arms too, but that lower stomach hip region is tough. 3/4 inch on my right thigh, 1 inch on my left thigh, and 1/2 inch on my right calf. I am down a total of 8 inches in 3 months. That's pretty spectacular. So yeah, I'm really not feeling too bad about my 0.8 pound gain this week. So for several reasons. One, I worked out 3 days last week with Gary. 3 days. He has he just destroyed me. I was sore until I went back in on Monday this week. So I know that I worked out super hard last week. Your muscles retain water as they're healing, so I'm sure that's part of it. But I also had a bunch of friends in town this weekend, and so I had more drinks than I usually have. I ate out more than I usually do, like legitimate eating out where it's like Mexican food. We all love Mexican food, so we're having like really salty stuff, things like that. And I haven't been feeling very well. I don't know if you can tell. I have kind of a sinus infection sounding whatever. I don't really know what's happening. It's not a sinus infection, but it's not fun. And so I did a lot more kind of laying around than I usually do on the weekends. Any number of things could have caused it. I just don't care. I feel pretty, once you've gotten through a 10-week stall, 1 week doesn't really faze you. So 1 year ago, I had basically been to my gastroenterologist. I went in June. I had convinced myself that I had some sort of thyroid hormonal issue. I had been trying really, really hard for 3 years, I guess. Sorry, I just ate and I have hiccups. Or not hiccup, kind of burp, whatever. It's like a cross between a burp and a hiccup. I don't know, it happens every time I eat. It's just the way it goes. So anyway, yeah, I had gone to a gastroenterologist. I was convinced that after 2-3 years of legitimately trying everything, I was going to nutritionist every week. I was working out 5 days a week. I had starved myself and done the HCG diet. I had taken all these tests to figure out what foods I was intolerant to. I had kind of done everything you could imagine, and nothing had worked. And in fact, I had gained back more weight than what I had lost on that crazy HCG diet at that point, which is devastating to feel so good about the way that you look and the way that you're feeling. And then to watch it just come back completely. I just felt like it was completely out of my control. And so I went to my gastroenterologist. I explained all of this to her. I explained why I thought it was a thyroid issue from what I had read. her feeling was it's not a thyroid issue, that it may just be a genetic thing, that my body is predisposed to carrying weight, holding on to weight, not losing weight no matter what I do, and that she wanted to try an FDA approved medication. I can't remember what it was called now. It started with a V. It's approved for type 2 diabetes, but it's also like a side effect of it has been weight loss, and so it was an obesity approved medication. I tried it. I tried it for I think 6 weeks. I went back. I hadn't lost anything, and she said, "Did you take it?" And I said, "Yes. I've been taking it every day for the last 6 weeks as prescribed." And she said, "You didn't lose anything?" And I said, "No." And she said, "You're not doing anything wrong." And this was kind of a huge turning point for me, because I was going back at about this time, and she was saying, "You're not doing anything wrong. You have you have altered the way that you eat, you work out." I remember she ran my blood work, and we got it back, and she's like, "I've never seen anyone healthier than you." All of my numbers were smack in the middle of where they needed to be in the range to be healthy. Everything. I mean, every vitamin, every level, cholesterol, everything. Every single thing was dead set in the middle of exactly where it needed to be. I was the picture of health outside of what I actually looked like. And so she said, "Would you consider surgery?" To that point, I said no. I did not want surgery. I wasn't interested. I felt like it was taking the easy way out, that I should be able to figure this out on my own. I had seen people that had lost weight on their own. Why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I be that person? I wanted to accomplish this myself. What was the problem? Why couldn't I do it? And she said that she really felt like I should consider it. She thought it would be a really good option for me. She actually referred me to NYU. She had I guess, studied with the program there. She thought it was a really great one. I had no idea where to start finding out about any of this. And so I sort of started researching. I went in, I had my first consult. I spoke to Dr. Christine Wren, and I said, I don't know what I would want to have. Here are my struggles, here are my issues. This is what I've tried. And she said, "Do you have an idea of which surgery you'd like to have?" And I said, "The lap band." And she said, "Okay, why?" And I said, "Well, I like that it's not permanent and it's the least invasive surgery. If it doesn't work, I can take it out, no harm, no foul. I just think that that's the best option for me. Whatever." And her response was, "I don't think that's right for you. I think you need something more extreme. You've tried everything else. I don't think a reversible method is gonna be what you need." She said, "I am not saying at this point that you're not right for surgery. I think you need to do a little bit more research. I'm gonna ask you to go to this seminar." It was actually her husband who ran the seminar, and he had actually had the lap band done, and had lost a ton of weight apparently. So she said, "I want you to go. They talk to you about all 3 surgeries. Go in, talk about it, ask questions, read, do some research, come back and talk to me." And I did. And I'm listening to him talk, and I'm listening to, kind of how fast people tend to lose weight on all of these 3 different surgeries and what each means. And what I want to do, I ask questions. I ask so many questions. Everything from pain level, recovery time, lifelong medication, vitamins, to does this affect pregnancy later on? Does this affect any reproductive issues, like you're not getting enough nutrients? Does it, anything like that? I asked any question I could possibly think of. From there, I went back to Dr. Wren, and we talked about it some more, and she said, what are you thinking? And I said, I just don't know. I don't know which one I want. I think I need to do more research. And she said, that's fine. Start the process. Start looking at, what you think is going to work for you. Talk to people. Take your time. It's a huge decision. She was recommending the gastric sleeve for me. But I know better. And I was still thinking that I wanted to have the lap band. The idea of the full bypass always freaked me out. It just seemed so extreme. It was like the idea of reattaching intestine and things floating around in there, and so it never seemed like the right thing for me. So I started the process of being approved for surgery before I'd even decide which surgery I actually wanted to have. I did all my consults. I did my psych eval. I did my endoscopy. Everything looks good. Everything looks great to go. You're, no problems. You seem sound for surgery, great. I went in and spoke to a nutritionist, and I was talking to her about what I was thinking and what I thought I wanted to do. And I said, I think I want to do the lap band. And she said, that's interesting. Why do you choose that? And I explained, it's least invasive. I can undo it if you want to, whatever. And she was like, okay. She was like, that makes sense. She's like, what's your lifestyle like? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, do you tend to eat out a lot, or is it pretty like standard? You kind of cook for yourself and you can control everything that you eat. And I said, well, no, I'm actually an event planner, so I travel all the time. And so I kind of have to make do with whatever is in front of me. And she said, okay. Well, just so you know, there have been cases of people flying often, and the air pressure can actually change the tightness of the band. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. And in that case, you're going to have to go immediately to the hospital when you land and get it loosened. I was like, well, that really doesn't work for my schedule. She said also, depending on what you eat, she said, some days things work with the band and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they'll go through, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you're in the bathroom getting sick and purging, sometimes you're dumping. She said, just so you know, the gastric sleeve doesn't tend to have as many side effects. She's like, it's a lot more invasive. Recovery time is greater. There is a possibility of more issues with surgery and things like that. It is not reversible. But your lifestyle is a bit more manageable than with the lap band. And as silly as it is, after everything that I read and all the things I learned and whatever, that was the selling point for me. I am not having this surgery to spend the rest of my life having more difficulties in different ways trying to maintain my weight. That would not work for me. And for some people, the lap band is exactly what they need and exactly what they want, and it works perfectly for them. That's great. For me in my life, it would not have worked. I said it last week, I'll say it again. I have never regretted choosing the gastric sleeve, ever. I love my sleeve. I am 9 months out. I am eating, well, it depends on the day. I'm eating about 3/4 of a cup of food at a time, give or take. Protein's a lot easier for me to get down than, say, any kind of starch, carb, pasta, rice, breads. I avoid those things 98% of the time. If I choose to eat them, I'm eating closer to half a cup of food at a time. They fill me up so fast, and it gets a little bit uncomfortable because they expand so much when you're digesting them. Just that's the way it works. But to me, it's not worth it. My diet consists mainly of a ton of protein. I usually do a protein shake in the morning, unless I unfortunately just have coffee. It depends on my schedule. I try really hard to be good about having the protein shake or a hard-boiled egg or two in the morning, whatever I'm kind of able to put down. I've found that like a hard-boiled egg and a half is right where it's comfortable for me in the morning. I can put down 8 ounces of a protein shake though, which is great. I try really hard to take my luncheon to work with me. Always a protein. I try to do a veggie as well if I can, but I eat the protein first. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this stupid cold. Dinners, per usual, are a little bit more, I just don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna get home. If I'm going to the gym with Gary, I'm not getting home until 8 o'clock easily, maybe 7:30. And so to start thinking about cooking at that point is hard, so I try to have stuff here that I can just quickly heat up and I'm done. Otherwise I end up snacking, which is not good, but I, again, try to have healthy snacks. I've got celery cut up in the fridge. I've got beef jerky in the cabinet, string cheese, I have cottage cheese. I do have fruit, so I can have that as like a desserty snack thing, that's the other thing. I do not crave sweets the way I used to at all. Before, it was after every single meal, I wanted something sweet, after every meal, except maybe breakfast. I wanted dessert after lunch. I wanted something sweet in the afternoon. I wanted dessert after dinner. Always wanted dessert. If I was looking to celebrate something, dessert was what I wanted. Now, like, it's not, I don't get really any, well, that's not true. I don't get too many cravings. Definitely not for sweets. Definitely not for sweets. Sweets are kind of a, I don't know, if I have room or if I get in the mood for it later, maybe I'll have some. I was home the other weekend and my dad, we make homemade ice cream, and it's like one of my all-time favorite things. And then chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. And they have these big red bowls at my dad's house. And one of our favorite things to do, you put a big old piece, bigger than what my stomach can currently hold, piece of cake in there with 2 scoops of this vanilla ice cream that's just to die for. It like melts around the cake and it gets all like creamy but like cakey. Oh my god, it's so good. One of my favorite things. And I was home and he had this, and I had a burger with all the fixins, no bun, and I allowed myself literally 1 like tablespoon full of mac and cheese. My stepmom makes this amazing baked mac and cheese. Again, one of my favorites. So I allowed myself 1 spoonful of that, and I was full. I was like really, really, really full. and I had to sit for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and I knew that I wanted the chocolate cake and ice cream. Like, I knew that I wanted, and that I was going to be able to eat nowhere near what I used to eat, but I wanted a taste of it. And I knew that. And I waited. Like, I made sure that I got that protein in first. Like, that was the most important thing. I had tomatoes and lettuce and onions on top. So I got a little bit of veg in there, not a ton. And I waited. I waited for all of that to digest. And then I allowed myself to have the smallest little sliver of cake and a scoop maybe of ice cream. And it was everything I hoped it would be. And when it was done, I was satisfied. I don't crave stuff like that anymore, which is fantastic. I was talking to Becoming Lee today. I'm so sorry, I like blanked on your name. Becoming Lee. And I was talking to her today, and she was asking about workouts and like how I make time, and it's not easy. And she was saying that she's considering starting them at 5 a.m., which is, Lee, if you can do that, you're, I don't know, my hero. I've tried doing workouts in the morning. I told Lee I was starting to spend a small fortune on cabs. I was not awake, not motivated, wasn't pushing myself, wasn't getting the workout in that I needed to do, and found that I just hated it. Like, I just despised it. It was not fun for me. And whereas and this may have been true pre-op, I just felt like I was too tired at the end of the day. Even though I was sitting at a desk, I felt that I was too tired and did not have the energy to work out in the evenings, and I couldn't do it. Now, first and foremost, I'm completely spoiled that I'm able to have a trainer that I see as often as I do. Having Gary, who is not just good at training, but he's like a fun person to be around. It makes me want to go in there, and having somebody expecting me to show up is huge. It's absolutely huge. I schedule it in, I put it in my calendar. It is not something that I'm willing to cancel for just anything. I have had to a few times in the last 6 months because, as you know, it got a little crazy around here. But I try really hard not to cancel. That is my priority. It is scheduled me time. It's what I need to do for me. I have goals. I have somewhere I'm trying to be as soon as I can possibly get there. And so that's what works for me. It's different for everybody. Some people are totally morning workout people. They can get up, they can get moving, it starts their day off, they get energized. Yeah, the gym doesn't really do that for me. I wish it did. I know that I feel better over the long term if I continue working out, but I'm not getting like a gym high. It's not like, oh, I did one push-up more than I did last week, I feel like a beast. No, I don't care. That's just not, I work out because I need to. I work out because I'm trying to keep my skin from getting too loose. I work out because I want to keep my muscle mass. I work out because I want to live a long and healthy life, and I want to feel as good as I can doing it. That's it. It is not fun. It is not something I enjoy. It is what it is. So yeah, guys, there's my 9-month check-in with you. I just cannot believe that it was 9 months ago that I was starting this whole process. And look at me now, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine where I would be if I didn't do it. That was kind of a scary thought I just had. If I had not done this 9 months ago, I could be over 300 pounds. who knows what could have started going wrong. I was really lucky when I did this. I didn't have any major health problems. I still don't. But I just have this feeling they could have been right around the corner. That's a really terrifying thought. Where would I be if I did not do this? And that makes that 51 pounds just seem even more fantastic that it's already gone. Oh, good video this week, guys. Anyway, I will see you guys in a week. I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a productive week. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.